several of you here. Just feel free to chat on the chat box. Tell us about your name, where you're from right now, and anything else we can help you with. Somebody's saying, I don't speak English, so let us know which language you would like us to be doing these sessions in. We only support English right now, but we are launching new languages. Okay, so we're launching new languages later this year, so stay tuned, and we'll have a lot more languages coming shortly, okay? All right, it's time. Corene, let's get started. So I'm Dee, one of the founders of Meditation Live, and I'm joined with Corene.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
I just want to give a little preview of this panel. Corene is also a contributor to Entrepreneur Magazine, and we did a session just not that long ago together on burnout, and it was very
last week.
Last week.
That was last week.
So thanks for reminding me, Corene. That's why you're my coach. So we're going to do a little session here today as well. We're going to start with a bit of breathing exercises, and then we'll jump straight into what is burnout, how to avoid it, and we'll have an active discussion with you. Hey, Debbie, she wants to have a little breathing as well, so we'll get started. Thank you, Debbie.
Wonderful. Thanks, everyone, again for being here. As Dee said, we're going to kick us off and set the tone for our discussion today by taking a moment to unwind and find our center, find a moment of calm. So wherever you happen to be, whether you're at the office or you're joining us from home today, take this first moment to settle into where you are, wiggling around in your seat to bring some comfort into your body, and then closing your eyes to begin that natural shift inward. Taking a big breath in, let the front of your body, chest and belly expand. And then a big breath out. Let your shoulders relax away from your ears. Unclench your belly. Soften your jaw. I'm going to begin with a few counting breaths, drawing out some long inhales and exhales to relax the mind and body. So I'm going to count the length of the inhales and exhales, but don't worry if you can't quite match my count. You want to draw out the breath, but stay as natural as possible. Beginning by breathing in, 1, 2, 3. Breathing out, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3. Breathing out, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3. Breathing out, 3, 2, 1. Take a few more breaths here, nice and slow on your own. And if that felt easy to you, see if you can draw it out even longer in these next few breaths. All right, take one last long, slow inhale here. Nice and slow, letting your lungs and ribs expand, the front of your belly open. Let your breath rise all the way to the top of your throat and then hold it. Hold your breath in for a moment there, lungs full, until you can't hold it any longer. Only then let it slowly release like you're gently deflating a balloon little by little, drawing your belly button back towards the spine. And then coming back to that natural, steady flow of your breath as we exit our practice. So open your eyes whenever you're ready. Sorry, go ahead. I wanted to make sure everybody opened their eyes to rejoin us.
Yeah, that's the short breaths make such a huge difference, right? Like, and wouldn't you recommend doing this throughout the day, multiple times a day?
Oh, absolutely. And it's bringing your full attention to something like counting, or then you're fully focused on the breath and you're not worried about anything else. This is what gives us that little mental break and reset so we can move back into our day feeling more energized.
Yeah, so somebody on the channel is seems is frustrated, fed up with life, maybe going through a hard time. I'm just gonna generalize. And it goes back to the subject that we have today, Corene, about burnout and how what is burnout? How does how does burnout happen? What are the symptoms of burnout? So let's talk about that before we address any individual concerns.
Yes, great way to kick us off. So, burnout is classified as chronic workplace stress that hasn't been successfully managed. Now, stress is really common for all of us these days. So, I think it's important to further clarify the difference between stress, regular stress, and when it reaches burnout. So some of the common symptoms with that burnout are mental distance from your job, feelings of cynicism or negativity related to your job, complete lack of passion, feeling overwhelmed, depressed, and really frustrated. But I think that the key there is the disconnectedness from any kind of passion, and then that added layer of almost bitterness. You know how they mentioned cynicism and negative, a negative attitude, especially. So it's when you enter that place where you really can't care anymore, where you feel so bitter and resentful towards what you're doing every day, which is a dangerous place to be. It's why we're here talking about this.
Yeah,
Um,
and like Corene said, burnout happens all the time. It's getting more and more frequent. So before you think about the symptom, let's try to understand the cause. What is causing burnout? Why you may be frustrated or bitter or angry? And then let's come up with a plan on how to cure burnout. And I've been through burnout myself, so I'm speaking through experience. So Corene, we talked about burnout. Is it also similar to other chronic conditions like obesity or smoking? Like, how would you categorize burnout?
I know we chatted about this last week. How do we categorize it? Because when burnout reaches that level, it's really significantly impacting your health. I always like to enter that little reminder there about that the stress response in our bodies is not just feeling stressed, feeling dissatisfied. It's a physical response system in your body as well. That's tightening up your muscles, restricting blood flow, releasing stress hormones, impacting your energy, your fatigue, the way you feel physically and mentally in your body. So I think honestly, it should be probably classified as something more serious, and having an impact on you, like obesity or smoking or some of these other things. But I think the biggest thing to start talking about here is how do we change it? How do we start to find solutions, since so many people from all areas of life are dealing with it? Last week when we were on Entrepreneur Magazine, we talked about it a lot from the mind frame of an entrepreneur or a founder, so CEO, someone running a business. But it's actually just as common among employees in the workforce. So, it's something we're all dealing with from all different paths and levels of our, careers. And I think it's time that it changes and that we all come together to work towards solutions.
Yeah, so I love that. And let's maybe give the audience some examples on what we can do to help change burnout. I see there's a lot of folks joining the class today, but there's several of those who are attending the class have been meditating with us and have seen dramatic impact in how they are from a stress perspective, how they've become more calm, and their lives have changed for a very positive way. So it's not going to happen right away, folks. It's going to take time. You've got to be committed to your practice. So Corene, tell us about like what practice they should adopt, how much time they should dedicate to solving this burnout problem.
Yeah, so there's no magic pill. As Dee said, it takes time. It's an investment. It's a commitment to you and to your health, your well-being overall. And so, if you can commit at least to start 5 minutes a day to investing some time in these practices, 5 or 10 minutes to start. I always, we build, right? We start with something that is manageable. We add something small, and then we slowly build up to longer and longer practices, to more and more time spent on, building this time to relax, or, counteracting the burnout feelings that we're experiencing. So start with 10 minutes. The best way to do this is to do that 5 or 10 minutes every day, and then one time a week, double your practice. So you're starting out with 5 or 10 minutes, and then one time a week, you're doing maybe 20 minutes, 15, 20-minute practice. So you stick with that for a little while. Then slowly you start to grow. Maybe every day then you're doing a 10 to 15-minute practice. Once a week, you're doing a 30-minute practice. Little by little, slowly increasing the amount of time that you're taking to connect with yourself, care for your mind and body. Now, why is this important? How is this really going to help you? Let's paint the picture of the modern world that we're living in for just a quick second, because I think it's really important to understand the world, the environment that we're living in, and why we're in this situation, to understand why these tools can actually help us, right? So in our modern world these days, we're living in extreme overstimulation. We are constantly stimulated by outside forces, from technology, the way we use technology, constant stream of emails, text messages, social media. We're really tied to our phones and to our computers and to this constant stimulation. So we've trained our brains to be moving pretty consistently back and forth, shifting attention from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. This burns energy, and frankly, it's exhausting. It just totally burns us out. Every time you have to move attention from one thing to another thing, you're losing energy, you're burning energy. So I think that's one thing that has led to this, kind of an epidemic of people feeling burned out. We're not wisely using our energy. We've also, a lot of people believe in multitasking, which is just another form of that moving quickly back and forth from things. So one of the other things Dee and I talked about last week was tech blocking and learning how to focus on one thing at a time rather than always moving from thing to thing to thing. That's what meditation and mindfulness techniques can help you with. Training your brain how to stay focused in the moment, how to stay present in the moment, and fully connected to one thing at a time, rather than that constant shifting back and forth.
Yeah, I want to add to that. It's very well said, Corene. For me personally, when I was in burnout, I was always looking at my phone for messages or stimulation, right? My watch was pinging me with some messages. So the actions that I took, and I recommend, looking at who is disturbing your peace. Like, is it social media? Is it news? Is it notifications on your phone or watch? And try to take a step at a time, reduce those, disturbances. And what you'll find is suddenly you'll find you're actually not feeling as stressed anymore, because you're constantly reacting to other people's lives, other people's actions. You're watching news and you're seeing something happen and you're reacting to that. You don't have to. You just don't have to do any of that. And you're watching Facebook, you're reacting to other people's lives. You don't have to do that either. So try to live your own life. Think about what you want, right? Like, that's why meditation is so big deal. Like, you sit down and say, what do I want? And that's why we do affirmations, right, Corene? So I want to actually just quickly address Debbie here. She's saying, I find burnout even happens once you retire. I feel we still have demands on our time that we need to manage to avoid frustration. Meditating each morning has helped me so much. I also find taking time to just breathe relaxes me so much. So now here's just an example, Debbie, that's been with us for a few months and has really seen a significant improvement in her own life. Thank you, Debbie, for sharing. I really appreciate that. And I've seen tons of improvement in my life based on tricks and techniques Corene has taught me, including journaling, that we haven't talked about so far.
Yeah, and a couple areas, just going back to, Debbie, thank you so much for your thoughts. I know you have been with us since the very beginning here with Meditation Live, and it's so amazing to see your practice and your progress. Think about the ways you can reduce that stimulation. we're all a little different. We have different jobs. We have different ways that our lives and our businesses flow, or our work lives flow. I know for me, one way that I started to, I time block or tech block my social media time and my emails. So I have set time that I allow myself throughout the day to be on social media, to be on my email, and to allow those distractions to come in. And then the time that I'm not doing that, I turn my phone on airplane mode all the time. My phone is on airplane mode multiple times throughout the day. And it's my way of saying, this is my time to do this other project. I have to write an article. I have to do this coaching thing. I'm with my clients. I don't want to be distracted. I want my attention to be fully with this other thing I'm doing. So I turn my phone on airplane mode, and that's one way of blocking it out. I got rid of my Apple Watch. Dee, I know you did the same thing. I got rid of my online calendar. I use a paper planner and calendar because that's one way I can spend time offline, disconnected. And it changed my life, to be honest, guys, because I was getting to the same place where I felt I wasn't a good meditation teacher anymore because I shifted my business online. I'm now, I teach meditation, I coach online. I was spending too much time in these distractions, and in the face of, being distracted by social media, the comparison that brings, always, at the demand of, what people were messaging me. So those little tips and tricks, and maybe Dee, you can share some of yours, but really helped me create time for myself to work on the things that were important to me.
Yeah, that's critical, very important. And I'll remind, the audience, which we shared in the last discussion we had. Today, the technology is so advanced that every company like Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, they use very advanced artificial intelligence algorithms. And the role of those algorithms is to get your attention and keep your attention. They want you on their platform nonstop. That's how they make money. So every time they send you a notification or send you something, they're trying to get you back in. You have to fight that. You have to fight these really powerful algorithms all the time. What I did was I just deleted the apps. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to fight it. I'm not gonna like make a decision every second. What should I do with this notification or that? I'm just gonna delete them. So think about taking one thing out of your phone, deleting one app today after the end of the session.
Yeah.
One app that's bothering you so much, that's really giving you stress, just delete it, and then tell us tomorrow you feel differently or not. It's a very simple thing, right?
Absolutely. And I think it's choosing how we use, because obviously technology, social media, they make our lives more convenient. They give us a lot of benefit, and they're not going anywhere. So it's more about using them responsibly. And, like you said, Dee, deleting the things that are just causing you stress. Get it off your phone. If it, why have it there? Or delete or turn off your notifications so that you're not disrupted by it. Put it on a different page that's not on your home screen so that you don't see it. Finding those little ways. Fill your, this is another one I love to give my one-on-one clients, because the other piece of this burnout that I'm finding, it's because we're also spending so much time in our thoughts of worry that are also being triggered by often social media and comparison. So comparison and imposter syndrome are two other really big issues right now that keep popping up consistently. And, I think because we're in this world where we're always looking at what other people, the highlight reel of what other people are doing, it's really easy to get caught up in that. And like Dee was saying, living in other people's lives, living at the, whims and, what other people are doing. If you're going to spend time on social media, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, make sure you're filling your feed with things that lift you up, things that are really positive, like lightning. Follow your favorite meditation and mindfulness people, your friends that post really positive, uplifting things, and try to keep that light and inspiring as well.
That's very well said. And I'll just echo that. Why is news always negative? Why is everything is always negative? Because you're drawn to click on negative articles. That's what the whole trick, the clickbait game is. Give yourself an opportunity to lift yourself. Only have friends that say positive things. Only surround yourself with positivity, and you'll just have a big smile on your face. It will change so fast. I promise you. We're both promising you. We're basically out of time here, Corene. How about we end on there's something gratitude. I feel like we need to give some love here to the community. Maybe a gratitude meditation, a couple minutes.
Yes, would love to. All right. So with gratitude meditation, I love this practice because literally what it is, we're practicing feeling positive feelings. We're practice living in our gratitude, living in our positivity. So, and then there's nothing too small to be grateful for. Some days you have really big things, really exciting things. Some days it's something very small. You woke up today, you got out of bed, you have a roof over your head. All right, so let's go ahead and start by just finding a comfortable position wherever you happen to be today. Again, just noticing where you are, trying to bring some comfort into your body and the way you're positioning yourself. Closing your eyes to begin that natural shift inward. Relaxing your shoulders, softening your breath in your belly. Here, start to bring your attention to your heart center. Taking all of your awareness and your energy there. Feeling from your heart. This is not from the mind, this comes from the heart. Begin to connect with something you're grateful for today. Again, this can be something very simple. Got out of bed today, you had a nice breakfast, the sun was shining. Maybe it's someone in your life you're grateful for. Maybe it's your pet, an animal. Find one thing to bring to mind, to bring to your heart, and allow yourself to be filled with appreciation for this gift in your life. Fully connect with those feelings of gratitude radiating from your heart center. Connect with those feelings of love, joy, and appreciation for that person or thing. As you breathe, let each breath in expand through you, spreading that gratitude, encouraging it to grow and radiate through you as well. With each breath, letting those feelings grow stronger and stronger. Holding them in your heart for one last moment here. Practicing these feelings. Now, wherever you are, bring your hands, or at least one hand, up to your heart, over your heart. Feel your heart beating, your breath flowing. Take one more moment to appreciate that thing in your life you chose to connect with today. And then tell yourself, the world, thank you. Say it like you mean it. Really feel that. Thank you for this precious gift, for this precious life. And namaste. From here, you can drop your hands, start to move back into your body. Open your eyes whenever it feels good. Joining Dee and I back here on the screen again for one last moment. Thanks again for sharing this time with us today. This was a much shortened discussion from our workshop we hosted on burnout last week. We plan to keep the conversation going. So hope to see you coming back, and please feel free to share your questions here or send it, online, send us a message. We'd love to hear from you and what you're dealing with, what you're working with. we can address
And
it in
don't
our next
forget to
session.
smile.
Yes, don't forget to find something to smile about today. Life is short. We're here to be, I refuse to believe that we're here to be miserable. We are here to have joy. We are here to create great things in our lives. So keep coming back and exploring these practices with us. We're here for you.
Corene. Thank you. And thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you guys again shortly. Thanks.
Thank you.